Hello friends, welcome to C# Intermediate to Advanced tutorial. Now we are starting subseries 6, and in this subseries we will see how to do thread synchronization using Monitor.Enter and Exit. We can call this as a critical section also. So in this video we will learn about the critical section or the monitor objects enter and exit method. Then in the remaining video we will talk about why we need thread synchronization, and finally we will implement synchronization using the critical section locks. Using enter method of a monitor class, the calling thread can occur exclusive lock on the shared object. So if there are multiple threads and if an object is shared between all these multiple threads, then synchronization can be performed using the locks. When already another thread occurred the lock, the enter method will wait for the release of the lock. That means if you make a call on enter method using a next thread, say for example already one thread occurred a lock and there is one more thread T2 which is trying to occur the lock using the enter method, then the method will wait for the release of the lock by T1. Using exit method, a thread can release the occurred lock so that any waiting thread can set the lock. Let's state there is a thread T1 and let's consider that this is a shared object, and here if you see the thread T1 occurred the lock and it is using the shared object, so it can occur the lock using the enter method. And we will consider there is one more thread T2 which is trying to occur the lock and it's also making call to the enter method. So the call will be blocked here because the shared resource is already locked by thread T1 and it is using it. So after using the shared resource, thread T1 will exit and it will release the shared resource using the exit method. So once it makes a call to exit method and leaves the shared object, then thread T2 will get a chance to occur the lock. So here now if you see, thread T2 occurred the lock and using the shared resource. If thread T1 comes again or some other thread T2 comes to this shared object, and if it tries to climb the lock using the enter method, then the thread should wait, or the enter method will wait for T2 to release the shared resource. So once T2 releases and if it leaves, then other thread can use this shared object. So this synchronization technique will be useful when a shared object can be changed or invoked by only one thread. Here in this scenario, if you see T1 occurred the lock using the enter method and it will access the shared resource, or even it can change the shared resource. It can do read and write operation on this shared object or shared resource. So only one thread can use it, and if another thread comes, it will wait when it is trying to occur the lock by calling the enter method. So enter method will occur the lock and exit method will release the lock. So when you are occurring the lock, the object should be not locked previously. So it will be in the released state so that the enter method can lock the resource and get inside. So here we are talking about enter and exit. We can replace this monitor.enter and exit with a simple lock blocks. So here if you see lock, and this is actually the shared resource, then here is the curly braces. So that means here you will be acquiring the lock, it is equivalent to enter, and this one is equivalent to exit. So one thread can access the, or only one thread can enter inside this block. So if there is another thread T1 will wait for T2. I mean if here in this scenario, if you see, this is the enter block, T1 already entered, and if one more thread comes, T2 will wait for T1 to exit. Once T1 exits, T2 will enter. The lock gets released when thread exits the sync block. So this is the sync block, where the lock will be released when the thread exits this. Or in other words, we can tell this way also, the lock will be occurred when thread T1 enters here, and when it exits the block, the lock will be released. So in this video we will use monitor enter and exit, and we will perform the thread synchronization. So there is no demo here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.